So I'm here with Shanta, my man. Met him here in Medellin. Hasn't been too long, but he's a nice guy, and I wanted to jump into how he started the agency, the different levels that he progressed through, where he's at now, and really break it down revenue range by revenue range. So we're going to do 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, and beyond, the lessons he learned along the way, and really break it down from there. But first of all, I want to know a little bit more about your background. I want to know how you even got into this online space as a whole. Like, how did you get into SMMA? What are the things you tried before that? And talk to me a little bit about
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got into marketing from a breakup.
that. Oh, damn.
Got broken up with a girl, and I was like, "Fuck! I gotta prove to this girl that I'm of value." You know what I mean? So I got into building Instagram pages for like 2 months, and eventually got into drop shipping. All right,
How old were you at this time?
20,
Okay.
20, or 19, maybe 19, 20. Um, got into drop shipping and I did that for maybe a year, 9 months to a year. I was okay, not really making that much profit, but I ended up selling that store for like 10,000, and then
How does that happen? How do you sell a store? What sort of numbers were you doing as well? Break it down.
I wasn't doing a lot, maybe like 5 to 12K a month in rev.
How much of that was profit?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you
Not a
just didn't
fucking.
even care. You didn't
Don't.
track anything.
I just looked at revenue. I didn't even know what profit
Flex
was.
the revenue.
Yeah.
Notification.
Yeah, that was it. And I had like a bunch of products, and there's this website where you can sell Shopify stores, and
Okay.
that's when I sold it. Um,
How does that happen? How do you get approached by someone looking to buy?
well, I didn't. I just put up my store on that website,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, I
Oh,
don't even.
shit.
The person that bought it, I don't even think wanted the products. He just wanted. I think his Shopify store went down, and he needed a store to put up his products.
Yeah, I get approached by like people trying to sell me, trying to buy my Strike account all the time. So maybe it's one of
Oh,
them. 'Cause
I
they
think
get
it's one of
banned all
those.
the time, bro.
It
Yeah.
was one of those, and then I used that money to buy a course to do an agency.
Why did you want to stop doing dropshipping at that point?
I didn't feel like I was growing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was just fucking clicking buttons all day. I wasn't really improving as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I
Wasn't
also thought I wasn't good at it.
Yeah. So you just how did the SMMA come out? How did that even enter your brain?
So I was in college, and I'm naturally a very introverted person.
Yeah.
So I knew marketing, I knew Facebook ads from dropshipping,
Yeah.
and I was like, if I'm gonna get into entrepreneurship, I need to learn how to sell.
Yes. Nice.
And so the whole goal with the agency was not even to make money, it was, can I learn how to sell? And that's how I got into agency. I knew Facebook ads. Let me figure out how to talk to people, because that shit scared the fuck out of me. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And and then I started the SMMA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that it's. I've said this before. It's all just sales, bro. Like especially SMMA, because when you're like, especially with businesses like SMMA, or it's just a service-based business, it's a people-based business. So it's just like when you're not selling people directly on calls, just selling them the idea of getting on a call with you, selling clients on staying with you, paying you more money, getting people to buy into your ads, marketing, whatever it is. It's all just sales. And yeah, what was that? Were you straight away in the dental niche, or were you exploring different niches?
No, my first niche was car wash.
Car wash. Oh damn.
Then I did martial arts. Then I did carpet cleaning. Then I did pressure washing.
Oh
Then I
my
did
god.
HVAC. And then I did dental.
Damn. So why switch to all those niches?
Because I didn't understand that I was supposed to stick to one thing. So
Uh,
all of those niche switching happened in like a span of 7 months.
really? And so you're going in blind. You've not bought any course, anything like that.
I bought a course, but the course was mainly teaching you how to go from 0 to 5K a month, which I
Yeah.
did.
Did you get there with one niche out of those ones?
It was just a car wash niche.
And why did you switch? So you get to 5K a month with the car wash niche.
Because I realized I couldn't charge car washes that much.
Okay.
Because they're car washes, they're selling
Yeah.
$30 car washes.
Yeah.
And so I just kept switching. I remember 6 months in, I'm 6 months into the agency game,
Yeah.
and I did this new niche. I forget. I think it was lawyers or something. Can't remember. But I
Yeah.
remember a guy I was doing an intro call, discovery call with, and I'm 10 minutes into the call, and he's like, "You sound like you're new to this." That shit
Ooh.
destroyed me, bro. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, now I have to get serious. Because that killed me. I'm in this for 6 months. I'm fucking learning, watching YouTube videos. And when he said that, it killed me.
What niche was that in? Sorry, say again.
I think it was lawyers, I can't remember.
Oh my
Or like
God.
carpet cleaning or something.
Especially when you're like questioning all your beliefs, you're questioning what you're doing.
All that self doubt.
And that just gets drilled down. I remember.
Dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was gonna say, I remember on my first call. This would have been about 2 years ago. Like literally 2 years ago. Like probably less than 20 days from being 2 years ago. I got on a call with this guy, and literally he jumps on the call. He sees me. He sees I'm like this. He sees I'm like this 18-year-old kid just sitting in his, like, obviously his parents' room. I've got my bed in the background. He's just like, yeah. So tell me, Max, why am I on this call? Like, what are you trying to sell me? And I'm like, oh, I like some Facebook ads, and then he's like, all right, yeah, that'll be all. And then he just leaves.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I think because I was in a course, I knew that, like, okay, this was a one-off, and I could regulate myself enough to be like, okay, this isn't what every call is gonna look like. So, and then from that point on, it was just pretty easy. Like, I was selling to like life coaches at the time, and they were just like big, kind of fat, lovely women, just like all were like very feminine. Yeah, it made it nice for me at the start. But
Facebook ads and life coaches, I haven't heard of that.
I didn't sign any of them. I switched from life coaches to coaches.
Okay.
I went into marketing agencies. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So you get to 5K a month. You get to 5K a month with the auto detailing car wash type thing. Then you switch to dentist. What happens after that? I want to hear like your first time in the dental niche. What you're doing at that stage as well. So you enter the niche straight away. Like, what actions are you taking?
So after car wash, the main niche was HVAC,
Okay.
and I got to 10K a month with HVAC, but I hated the people. I hated the clients so much. So I let go of all my clients, which was a brave move, but I was just confident, and I was like, I'm gonna do dental. I know it's hard. I know it's saturated, but I'm gonna figure this shit out, and I'm not gonna leave for 2 years. Like, I set that goal up. Within the first 12 days, I hit 10K a month.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions there, 'cause that's crazy. But I want to say, even like, say, how long ago was this? Like 5 years ago?
No, this was 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, okay. So you're like 20, 23 now, 24, 24. Okay. So it sounds crazy for you to say even 3 years ago the dental niche was like saturated as fuck. Yeah, and imagine it now, right? It's yeah, yeah. So what are you doing in that 12 days? Because like, how much are you charging? How many clients do you sign? What's your main form of outreach? What are you doing?
So the offer was Facebook ads and ISA. That offer,
Okay.
mind you, I never operated as ISA. I didn't have any ISA agents. I had nothing.
What is that? ISA?
Call center.
Oh, right. Okay. So the call center to call the warm leads.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't have any of that set up.
Okay.
What I basically did was set up cold email, and I hired a VA, and we just started sending out cold emails. I myself did social outreach on Instagram, on Facebook, and I think on LinkedIn. It was just sweat equity. It was just grind. I think I got lucky, but cold email brought me those 3 clients.
Yeah. Wow.
And then after that, it was all paid ads. But cold email, I think I got a little lucky with the list, and sold them on a Facebook ads ISA offer because nobody was doing that at that time.
Yeah.
And that's when I hit
that was
10K.
actually unique at that time.
It was unique. Yeah, it was unique.
Yeah. So so you signed 3 clients and you got to 10K a month. So that's like, how much?
Sorry. I signed 4 clients.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. Let me take that back. I had 10K a month 21 days after. Let me take that back.
Okay.
I was at 6K a month because I was charging 2K. Yeah,
Okay.
2K.
Okay, so you're at 10K a month. Do you think at this, well, now you're at 10K a month, are you thinking like, okay, maybe I've seen these crazy ads, I've seen your Mangadzis, like high school dropout, whatever it was. All of these courses, are you thinking like now I want to invest in anything at that stage, or what are you thinking at 10K a month, and how are you thinking? Okay, now how can we get to 20?
At first, I felt really good.
Yeah.
But I realized that I'm still working an insane amount of work,
Yeah.
and having 3 clients by yourself sounds easy, but it's not. It's still a lot of work
Even 3 clients, you found it was a lot.
because of the call center aspect.
Oh wow.
Because when I got the clients, I had to find the call center people. I had to find them, and that shit is hard. That shit is hard.
Yeah.
But I realized I needed to buy a course, and so I went through the sales course, and that helped me a lot. Um, and I paid this guy for like a one. I paid like 2 people for one-on-ones that were at like 100K a month, and that helped me a little bit.
Not majorly.
No, but that entire year, I didn't cross 20K a month. That entire year,
Yeah.
so I was kind of stuck.
So in that whole year, it was between like
10 to 20.
Ooh.
That was tough.
With the mentors that you had, how was that set up? The one-to-one.
The sales course, it wasn't really that good, to be honest. I didn't really get a lot of value from it, and the mentors, I was very focused on client results. So anytime I went to a mentor, it was for client results, not for sales, not for growth.
Wow.
Because I'm sure a lot of people are like this. When you have a few clients, like you really want to make sure they're happy because you're so emotionally attached to them.
Yeah.
Because they paid you money. This is your first money you ever made.
Yeah.
You don't want to let them down.
You literally have a mindset of like, if I don't get any results, they're gonna shove up at my door with like a baseball bat.
Yes.
And attack my family. That's what it feels like.
And talk to everybody about how bad I am, and
The whole world will know all my insecurities on that stage.
it took a long time to get rid of that. Long time. But I would literally have sleepless nights if a client was pissed.
Really?
It was that bad.
What have you ever had a moment that comes to mind where had like a bad experience with a client keeps you up? What comes to mind?
I think at one point I maybe had like 5,000 in the bank,
Okay.
and a client wanted a refund,
Uh,
and that was really killing me
yeah.
because I was running paid ads. I think I was running paid ads, and I'm like, can I run ads anymore if I give this refund?
Oh fuck. Yeah.
That was tough, and I did the refund. That killed me.
That's great. How did you build it back up from that?
So that entire year it was tough, but it what was good about it is I went through a lot of people on the team,
Yeah.
a lot of VAs, a lot of call center reps, and by the end of that year, I had a good team.
Yeah.
End of that year, I got hacked. My Facebook got hacked,
Oh jeez.
and I couldn't run ads, and I couldn't bring in clients, and I couldn't run ads for my clients.
Oh damn.
And so I had like 5 clients, they all left. So January of that next year,
Yeah.
I was doing payroll on a credit card.
Oh shit. What
And
was the payroll?
not a lot, maybe like 6,000.
That's still pretty crazy,
Yeah, that was tough, and that was the first time I came to Medellin
So it'd been 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, nice. All right. So you hit that mark of you're pushing past 20. So you have a good team now. How do you then get past 20K? Is it like a mixture of more mentorship, more courses like this, or is it just where do you think? How did you do it, and where do you think that came from? Like, what was the main thing?
So the year after, I went from 20K to 100K in 5 months,
Jesus.
and this is what happened.
Yeah, when you break it down like that, that sounds crazy. 5 months.
But that year build up, if I didn't
Yeah.
have that, this wouldn't have happened.
And then that's when you get the titles on YouTube that are like how I scaled from 10 to like a million in 5 years, but in like a year, but they don't see the 10 years of pain before.
Yeah, the drop shipping, the niches, all that stuff.
And all of that is just building skills. Like although it's like hopping around from different stuff, builds mindset, skills.
And we both know like a lot of the guys that are on YouTube that with these numbers, and we know their like backstory. There's always a backstory. It's
Yeah,
never this
yeah.
quick ascension.
Yeah, like for example, the guy saying I've gone from like 5 to 100K a month in 4 months. You don't see his, you don't see his like 10 years he's done as a sales rep or like Jeremy Miner's account manager, just some shit like that. I don't know, just as an example, but there's always a backstory and it's always just pain building the skills. There is, yeah, especially now when there's so many YouTube videos that are always popping up like that, and it's like see a 15-year-old earning 500K a month, which I actually saw the other day, which is crazy. Like it's through Snapchat as well. Like a kid's called Daniel or something, but it's mental. But yeah, okay. So you had the skills, 20 to 100K a month in 5 months. Did you say? Damn, like what? You must have been working like an absolute savage at that time.
Dude, so I remember in so January I was doing payroll on a credit card. In February, when Facebook was back and everything was back to normal, and I got my old clients back, I
Okay.
sat my small ass team down. I think it was like 3 or 4 people,
Yeah.
and I just apologized. I was like, "Look, guys, my heart wasn't as into this as I thought, and I let you guys down.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna make this work, I need you guys and me to be in this as much as possible so we can make this into a real company."
Okay.
And so we just all had a heart to heart. And I was like, I'm either going to make this work or I don't. So all the money I had in my bank, I was like, I'm going to pour it onto paid ads. And I did. And I wasn't, I was a little profitable, but we were able to hit 30K a month.
Okay.
And at that point, I was profitable. When we hit 30K a month, I was making really good money. Maybe like 10, 15 a profit.
Okay.
Then I bought a coaching program. And this coaching
Yeah.
program,
I remember you saying this.
it cost $50,000.
Wow.
And I was on a monthly payment plan, 8,300 a month. I'm not gonna say who it was, but that course did not help me for shit, except for one thing. I was paying so much per month. I had to use 2 credit cards to do that 8,300 payment.
Damn.
I was paying so much that I had no choice but to make that money back.
Damn, that's kind of smart.
Yeah, and my biggest motivator is money. Like if
Yeah.
I'm losing money, if I'm paying for something,
Yeah.
I get the juice out of it.
Yeah, it's like if there was an incentive for you to make like an extra 8K a month once you hit a certain point, it would probably motivate you a lot less than just the fear aspect of losing it. Like
Yeah.
We're motivated a lot more by fear of loss. So I can
Yes.
imagine that just like chasing you forward to that 100K point.
And I mean, it was primarily through paid ads. We did paid ads, we did cold email, we did social outreach. And I was doing, all the marketing on paid ads. I was doing the sales calls. I had a SDR doing the discovery calls. But it was a lot of calls, and I just had a really good offer. And uh, I just spend a lot of time reading sales books and watching YouTube videos to make sure I could sell. Yeah. Because dentists are not easy to sell. They're very right now the industry is more of like going for the shiny object.
Like
And so
TikTok.
yeah, so using a lot of that to my advantage, and letting go of trying to make every single client happy. That was a big part of it, because you can't make every client happy. Even if you deliver amazing results, clients will leave you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't focus on client results. You should. I think even at that time, I spent more time on that, which means I was working a lot. But you have to also let go of it. Um, you have to let go of letting one angry client fluctuate your emotions and fuck up your sales calls.
Yeah. What do you think of client relationships? Because a lot of people focus results, results, results. And like to be honest, at the moment, the space as a whole is just focused on acquisition, and no one even speaks about the back half, which is obviously wouldn't make you any money because even if you have clients coming in, right, you won't be able to retain them if you don't get results. The relationship's not there. So, what have you learned in terms of like building a good relationship, and how important do you think that is with your clients? Because obviously it's harder at scale.
So we are way more focused on client retention and relationships way more than other agencies. Like I speak to a lot of dental agencies, and the average churn rate or client turnover rate
Yeah.
I see between 15 to 20%
Is that over the year or
month
what's?
to month.
Oh wow! So they lose 10 to 12% of their clients
15
every
to 20.
15 to 20% of their clients. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm talking like agencies above 20K a month.
Yeah.
We stayed under 8%.
Mm.
And that's because of two things. So it's relationships and their actual results. Relationships, for the most part, I knew my clients personally. We
Yeah.
talked on a personal level, and I always tried to do that. And I would honestly reach out to them every single day when I was the account manager. Every fucking day. And I'd make sure they knew that I cared. Even if the results weren't good, that I cared. That we were trying things to make it work.
Yeah.
When I hired my first account manager, I'm not going to get details, but I made sure it was a certain ethnicity because my clients are a certain ethnicity, which means that personal relationship could be built easier.
Because there's more similarities. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow,
And
that's kind of smart.
we had clients stay that shouldn't have stayed for as long as they did just because of how much they liked my account manager on a personal level.
And it's really hard to end that relationship. It's like a
Exactly.
breakup. So you just keep delaying it. Yeah.
That was huge. And then client results, I am so big on client results. I mean, just a few examples for people in Facebook ads right now. Uh, I get my media buyers to send in every week new creatives that they see from either our industry or other industries.
Yeah.
For example, we're in dental implants. We look a lot at roofing ads and solar ads because they're very similar. Uh, we don't look at cost per lead. We look at cost per qualified lead.
Okay.
And my media buyers are incentivized not even based on cost per qualified lead, but cost per appointment.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So we're huge into that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So, like, the space is so lead focused at the moment when I know customers don't care about appointments, they don't care about qualified meetings, they just want revenue. As long as they can close it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge waste of time, especially if they're getting on calls with unqualified leads, which, like, a lot of them just see the lead generation space as, like, just spinning a roulette wheel at this point because they've been burned so many times, especially local businesses like dentists and then the niche I was in, like doing done for you lead gen for marketing agencies. Like so many client acquisition agencies just fucking them over. But yeah, relationships is so important. I like what you said about finding a specific ethnicity to match with them, the similarity, because
Ethnicity, gender,
yeah,
age, everything.
yeah, like without this, yeah, exactly. Without you want it just to be as similar as possible. Like if you're working with med spa owners that are women in their 30s and 40s, and you hire like a 17-year-old Filipino kid to do the to the account management, like it's yeah, it could be better. But okay, 20 to 100K, you're just being a savage. You start caring less about client results, not in a bad way at all, but just in the way of, okay, I can't give each client the attention I need to give them because I don't have the time as I'm going to take on more, and it's just going to make me spend less time actually getting the clients. So,
Actually,
would you say that?
yes, and one other thing that was pivotal.
Yeah.
I didn't hire anybody based on skill. I hired
Wow.
everybody based on personality,
Mhm.
which is not good once you hit 100K a month, but it's good to get you to 20, 50, 80K a month. I wanted to make sure there's someone I can like working with
Yeah.
and that they are in the learning phase of their life. There is no concrete belief systems.
Yeah.
They're in the learning phase of their life because my media buyer right now, my best media buyer, was my first VA ever.
Wow.
And I trained her to be a media buyer because I knew she wanted to learn. And so when I got out of client results more, she really cared about it because she wanted to learn. And that was pivotal, huge.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Would you say, because you said obviously it's different, like how you'd hire people at like 0 to 50K a month, and then to get to 100K a month. But would you say it's because when you get past 100K a month, like it starts becoming obviously harder, and you need you need more people, so it's harder to like sort of coach them as much as possible because obviously in the early stages, it helps for them to have that open mindset because things are changing quickly. But then once you hit that 100K a month market, I'm guessing I haven't hit it yet, but I'm guessing it's kind of like things are more set in place, and it just becomes about how good like your ads manager is, how good the account manager is.
You yourself have less control. So in the beginning, like people can mess up, but you're really guiding people, right?
Yeah.
At 100K a month and plus, you're letting go of more stuff, and people have more responsibility.
Yeah.
And so if they fuck up, it affects everything more because you're not even
Yeah.
looking at what they're doing anymore. So they need skill at that point. Personality is still important. We're still looking at personality, but skill becomes now a big thing because you don't want to teach them stuff like I used to when I was little,
'Cause you don't
younger.
have the time.
You don't have the time. You don't have the patience either.
Yeah.
So you want somebody come in to already know it before you start training them. Because if I hire a media buyer right now, I'm not looking for anybody that's looking to learn media buying. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. How does the team change? How does the team change? So you get to 100K a month. I'm guessing you don't just fire everyone that's like based on personality and then just get the skill guys in. How does the team change? And what does it look like getting past that 100K a month mark?
So, I really struggle with this. I really struggle with this is something Gary Vee says, which is starts with the word C. I forget. Um, but being very candor. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you have to have candor. You have to be very direct, upfront, and open with your feedback, especially negative feedback, which I sucked at. Which means I sucked at firing people.
Oh, so you can tell people in a way that you'd want to how to do things better or what they did wrong.
Yes, or when they're fucking up, tell them
Yeah.
you're fucking up. I really struggled with that, which led me to stay at that 100K a month mark for a long time. Because I kept people on the team that I shouldn't have kept,
Yeah.
and I wasn't being upfront and honest about certain things, which means people that, if I was like that, would have gotten better, but they weren't getting better because I wasn't being honest about my feedback. So it was like some people were good, it's just I was doing a bad job.
So the skill level was just static at that stage.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can you give me an example of like when one of your team fucked up and you just didn't want to say anything? Does anything come to mind?
I think I mean, this is a kind of a basic example, but one of our team members not hitting one of our monthly KPIs.
Which was what? What was the KPI?
I think it was my ISA leader.
Okay.
And it was around a certain amount of appointments. I think it was like 100 appointments a month we have to hit.
Yeah.
And she didn't hit it. I kind of just let it go. Like, it's okay. It's whatever. We hit 80 at least. But really, in my mind, I'm like, we should have been at 200.
This is for your agency.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had the call center helping with your leads as well?
No, this is for clients. Sorry,
for
clients.
okay.
Yeah. We wanted to hit 100 appointments, and she didn't hit it. And because I'm scared to be upfront, I was just let it go.
Wow. Yeah.
And that was bad, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, specifically, this person was like that for a while until I was super candor with what I wanted.
Yeah.
To a point where it was a very uncomfortable conversation.
Oh, because it like built up so much.
Yes.
You, and then you just drill into on the call.
And yeah, it was.
You let it all out.
She was
yeah, go ahead.
She was the third person I ever hired. She's still with me today, and probably
wow.
one of my best employees on the team.
Oh, that should be good. What's her role?
She manages the entire ISA department. All of it. I'm not even involved. I don't even speak to them. Any of them. She just manages.
Or no, ISA
just for
okay.
ISA.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really interesting because I'm wondering if there was a point where was it hearing Gary Vee talk about it where you're like, okay, now I need to fucking figure this out. I need to actually tell my team members. I need to give them more feedback. Like, what was that? Did you ever hit a point like that? That you're like, okay, it changes from now on.
I think I was just so sick and tired of being in the same place.
Yeah.
It was also realizing that I'm blaming other people for not improving because I was at a place where the agency isn't growing because of these people.
Yeah.
And I was realizing that this was actually me. And even if it wasn't me, what can I do to get it to a better place? I think it was that realization because a lot of times you have team members, even if it's one VA, they can't do something right and you're blaming them.
Yeah.
But what could you have done?
Yeah.
even if it's one VA. Because if you can't do it with one VA, you can't do it with 50 people. You can't do it with 10 people, 20 people. Learn it with that one VA first. Learn it with that one team member.
Yeah, and I think like you have to have the skills before you hire for the skill. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing.
Yeah, because if you hire to solve a problem that you don't already understand, like I'm just gonna give the example. Let's say a marketing agency doesn't have client acquisition sorted for themselves, and they try and outsource it, right, to let's say an agency, a done for you agency, right, and what happens is even if the agency gets them results, they're now so dependent on that agency. The agency can just like they're the agency's bitch. The agency can charge them whatever they want because if they drop off, right, the marketing agency has lost now their only predictable way of getting clients. Like before that, they maybe have referrals, networking, but it's not predictable, and that's why they hired the agency in the first place. But even if they don't, like, it's more likely that they're not going to get them results, and they just end up wasting tons of time and money. It really fucks them over. But it's like, yeah, if you don't have a foundational understanding, how can you ever expect someone to even know what they're doing? Like if they get you results, like you have no understanding of how the biggest part of your business works, which is acquisition. So yeah, definitely have an understanding of the system, know how it works, and then you can hire someone who already has the skills, but then you can oversee it and know why it's working. That'd be my opinion.
Yeah, and even if it's something super, let's say sales, right? I see a lot of people wanting to delegate sales or hiring a salesperson
Yeah.
when they don't know anything about it. Sometimes, I mean, I get it, but even if you don't know how to do it and you're hiring someone for it, know what are good results and know what are bad results. Know what the difference is. So if I'm hiring someone for a media buyer and I don't know media buying, I need to know what are the good results, what are the bad results,
Yeah.
so I can give valuable feedback and know when someone is doing a good job or a bad job. Or else I'm their bitch. They get to tell me what's good or bad, and you don't want
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah.
and that's big. That's huge. It does get like you can't take that mindset with you when you cross that 100K to 150K a month, because then you want to hire people that are better than you. And then your thing is, how do you coach someone and give someone feedback even when you don't know how to do what they're actually doing? But that's a different level. If you're under 80K a month, 50K a month, you got to figure out what each aspects of the business are and how to do it before you start hiring for it. Or else, because you're in control, right? You're not delegating so much that you don't have a hand in everything. At that point, you're wearing all the hats. So you
Yeah.
got to know how everyone's doing and if they're doing a good job.
But I guess like at that point, maybe I'm wrong, but at that point, they have the skill set, so you don't have to have as much of an understanding about what they're doing, right? And also they're good enough to the point where you shouldn't have to give them that much feedback, and they're just getting better. They actually have an interest in what they're doing, right? So maybe it's a copywriter, maybe it's a media buyer, whatever. But okay, so you're at this 100K a month mark. You kind of figure it out by just hiring people that are a little bit more skilled rather than just who have the desire to learn, and probably a bit of both. What else are you doing to get past that 100K a month mark? Like how do you scale beyond that?
This was a really tough point for me because, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, right? And I still don't, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And we scaled so fast, and we're bringing in so many team members that it was getting slightly scary. But I made some really bad hires, and that bad hires prolonged my growth.
Why do you think you made the bad hires? You just like pressured to just move fast, move too quickly.
Pressure to move, this mentality of moving super fast. And I didn't understand hiring to the extent of which I understand it now,
Yeah.
where if someone seems mildly good, like when they did when I was at 10K a month,
Yeah.
they're on the team,
Yeah.
right?
They're a C player.
And that was a problem. And I tried to do what I was doing at 20K a month at 100K a month, which to some extent works. But at that point, I really needed to think about churn rate and keeping clients. Really think about it. Because if I lost, let's say I had 50 clients and I had a churn rate of 10%, when I'm at 10 clients, that's just one client. When I'm at 50 clients, that's, what is that, 5 clients?
Oh yeah.
If each of my clients is worth 2,000 a month, that's $10,000 gone. that I have to make back to stay at 100K. So that was I hired a mentor, one-on-one mentor, and this is a pro tip. This is a huge tip.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for like these courses and coaching that teach like 1,000 fucking people, look for coaches that will work with you on a personal level, on a one-on-one basis, or even a 1 to 3 basis.
Yeah.
Those are the coaches where you'll really find value, and that's what I did. Um, and I did it a lot around client results, and we started getting some crazy results. Uh, and I mean crazy, like taking someone from 0 to 4 million run rate in 5 months in a dental practice.
Wow.
Um, we were just really focused at it, which also kept me at 100K a month because I wasn't focusing on sales. And like you said, even at 100K a month, even at 200K a month, the lifeblood of the agency is sales, appointments, and fucking deals.
It's just oxygen for a business owner. Yeah.
You can't let that part go. If you want to grow, if you don't, then that's a whole different story. But who doesn't want to grow?
How do you like even think about, okay, now I want to grow at that stage? Because like you're doing 100K a month. Like I guess part of it is probably like you said, you're losing clients. So you're like, okay, it's not like I stop working and I stay at 100K a month. It's going to fall apart if I stop working to some degree. But like also you could have just been like, okay, I'll fix client retention. I can just stay here, right? Kind of. So how do you like find the next level of, okay, now I actually want to grow this. I don't want to just stay here. How do you find that second driver? Because now the money's not really an issue.
You would think when you're at 100K a month, you're like at the top of the world and rich as fuck.
Yeah.
And I felt cocky, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't remember what we were doing in profit, but probably like 40%, 45%, maybe even 50,
Okay.
probably 50.
That's nice.
Which was good money. But at that point, it was just like, how far can I take this? How good am I? It was all tied to my self-worth. How good am I?
And you see it's possible now, so you're like, oh shit, where's that? Yeah.
When I saw it was possible, it changed everything. So I'm like, anything is possible now.
Yeah.
If I could do it,
Yeah.
anybody can.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Like straight up, anybody can. The big driver was I'm very family oriented, so it was like my mom wanted a house. How can I fucking figure out how to buy a house? Not just buy her a house, but buy myself a house and a car and this and that.
Yeah.
Very material driven. So then I realized it was all sales, and I just poured more money into ads, more outreach, hiring a team of people to do it.
Outreach on what platform?
Outreach on Instagram mainly at that point,
Okay.
but the main source was Facebook ads, Instagram ads.
Yeah.
And you have to know your numbers, right? So we looked at what was our cost per lead, cost per intro call, cost per demo call, and then close rate. And then you reverse engineer. If I want to add 20K a month in revenue next month, and my close rate is, I don't know, 25%.
My show rate is this.
Boom.
My appointment booking rate is this, and you just reverse engineer. That's
Boom.
why metrics are so important.
Yes.
Everything is just maths. Like with the sales funnel, even with client results, it's like, yeah, no one looks at it like that. No one reverse engineers the numbers, and honestly, it's because it's kind of painful to do. But especially when you're starting out and you know your numbers. Let's say you have to make 200 cold calls to book, 20 meetings, so you have a 10% conversion rate. Your show ups are like 80%. Your close rate is this. It just becomes like, okay, now I know I need to do 200 cold calls a day to hit like 30K a month, and you can clearly see it like that, but. Yeah, no one takes the time to do that because it's kind of uncomfortable, and tracking it takes a long time. Yeah, because with outreach, like for our clients, for us, I don't know what it was like for you, but it's like we got so like meticulous with tracking the data, which was obviously important, but it kind of prohibited us from just having that savage mode of when you're in the early stages of just keep going, and not really focusing on the little things. So yeah, that was a mistake we made. But I think what you said about team and all those things, and finding the second motivator is really interesting. It's like going out of yourself, because now you sort of had your needs taken care of. It's like, okay, what can I do for my family and stuff like that. So you get past that 100K a month mark. Where do you get to? Like 100, 150, and then let's break it down to, let's say, okay, you get to that 150K a month mark. Where do you take it from there, like after 100K?
So getting to getting to 150 and getting to 200 was more different because I had less control of the business.
Yeah.
Uh, we had team members taking care of certain departments, and I had no idea what they were doing. And I don't want to look at it either. I don't want to know what the fuck you're doing. Just make sure you do a good job.
Yeah.
The problem with that is some people suck, and they do a bad job. And that's when it really gets to you. And my problem, because I have problems with candor. I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but I wasn't doing anything about, not doing anything that was impactful with the people that were doing a bad job,
Mm.
and that fucked me up. So if I took the time to figure out who were the C players on the team that I need to let go and replace, and then creating a plan to do it, that would have been huge. At From 0 to 50K a month, you're like grind, 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 move fast, fast, do this, this, this. Tracking doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at what my revenue numbers were.
Yeah.
Um, but it's. I'm not saying it's not important. You should do it. I was just a dumbass that didn't. But if I went back, I would have probably grown faster if I did. But from 100 to 200K a month, you can't work like that anymore. You can't just put in sweat equity and expect it to
You
work.
have to think about what you're doing.
You actually have to fucking think. You have to strategize. You have to plan. You can't just fucking hire someone off the fucking street.
Yeah. And like even because you're grinding and it's not like you're planning your day and you're taking like 10 minutes to think about what you do. Yeah, no, you actually have to sit down and think about what the strategy is, what the plan is.
Yes.
That's why business plans exist. Like it kind of sound boring and old, but do exist for a reason. I've never made one. I've just sort of worked blindly. Kind of like I need to think more about what I'm doing, but yeah, and I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, and one of my good mentors told me this, where he made me realize that, which was yeah, it's not a it's speed is important, yes, but you can't take actions without thinking anymore. That becomes irrelevant. That will actually hurt you. And so
Yeah.
making that realization was big, because then I sat down and thought about, if I want to add 50,000 more a month in revenue, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
just do that by spending more money on Facebook ads. I got to figure out how to increase the call show rate, how to increase the close rate, how can I decrease the sales cycle. More metrics come into play, but from the 0 to 50K a month, you don't need a lot of metrics. You should track it. There's only like, for each department, maybe 2 to 3 metrics you really need to look at and base your numbers around. Um, uh, but even at 100K a month, instead of 2 to 3 metrics, maybe it's 4 to 5 metrics.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
It's crazy at that level, like it's crazy at that level how much of just a even small change in metrics can like let's say your close rate jumps from like 18% to 22%, how much that affects the business is actually ridiculous. I think I was watching a Charlie Morgan module in his course actually. He was saying right now, so his closing rate right now is like 15 to 20% for his course, and he's doing like a mil a month. If he doubles that, bro, it's like instantly doubles his business, and like so it's just the highest point of leverage. It's like especially when all you need to be focusing on is just getting clients results. It's just kind of price, and then how much you can actually close the clients at that price. So awesome. So you're hovering around that 200K a month mark now. Like, what do you feel is next? Like, what are the strategies that you've got in place to take this to the next level? Or do you even want to take this to the next level?
no, I do. I do.
You do.
But I'm at a place where I don't know what the next step is. I don't know what I need to do. Just like I didn't know at 20, 50, 100. I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm in search for a one-on-one mentor that I can pay an obnoxious amount of money to skip the learnings. Uh, yeah, an obnoxious, but um, uh, I'm at a place where I need to invest more time into learning. So when you're going from 50 to really 150, you already know what to do. Like, you know it's sales, you know it's client results, and you kind of know how to get there.
Yeah.
And for me, what I did was I just stopped learning because I knew what to do.
Yeah.
And after that 50,000 fucking
Uh,
course,
and then
I wasn't learning anything. I was like, fuck learning. I know what to do.
yeah, because I just gave you a bad experience around the education space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think was it kind of like this because like a lot of people. Like I'm one of these people that I need to do like the good habit, the self improvement habits, like keep myself in check to work well. Like some people aren't really like that. Like I meditate, I read books, just it helps me keep myself sharp. Sometimes like I like those things really have an impact on my work. I stop doing those things because the impact from my work is good, and then like I still get the results from work for a little bit, and then like my productivity starts to go off because like there's a little bit of latency where it elapses on for a little bit, and then because the mindset stuff stops, it just drops off, and then I pick up the mindset, and it's like an endless loop like that. Do you think it's the same with what you were talking about for learning? It's like now you got the effects, you could stay at that point for a little bit, but now it's kind of fluctuating a tiny bit just because you feel like you've stopped learning and it's dropping off. Do you feel like that or no?
That's such a good question. To an extent, I feel like there are seasons of your life where you need to go into learning mode, and
Yeah.
seasons of your life where you need to go into
Action.
introspective and action.
Yeah.
You need to start evaluating your thoughts, what you know, and then based on your actions, what you're learning, this feedback loop. So, more feedback loop, less other people's lessons. And then you also have to switch. And
Yeah.
it's this constant switch. Um, I'm big on learning. I don't do it a lot. Like I don't really read books or anything,
Yeah.
which I should, but I don't, and it's not gonna help you get to fucking 100K a month. 100K a month is action, and I think what's gonna take me from 200 to 300, 500K a month is doing those things that everybody talks about, which is, you know, fucking journaling, reading
You think
books,
so?
blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
do for it depends on the person. It depends on the person. But what's most important from zero to where's your audience mainly? Do you know?
I'd say if I had to guess, anywhere from 0 to 30K on average,
Okay.
probably.
If you
Just in
want
the beginning stages, that's it. Mainly.
if you want to get to 30 to 50K a month, you have to act. That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't just fucking blindly act. Have a feedback loop. If I take this action and this result happened, and I did this action 100 times, you're doing something wrong. Change it. Um,
Yeah, that is insane. Because it's like they will just do the same things over and over again, and it's like that. Everyone knows that quote. It's like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And people will do that and just not think about it because it's a business, and they're like, "Oh no, it's just me. I need to put more time in." But measuring the output of what you're doing is so important. But that's interesting that you think it's like now for the first time to get to that next point, it's going to be like the habits and stuff like that, the way you think. But obviously, I think you've got the right idea of finding the mentor because you won't know the way to think. Like, yeah, there's books out there that, but as a one-to-one mentor will be like tailored to your specific situation with the exact position you're in. Like a book will never give you that. So yeah, they'll help you think better, I think, but finding that mentor is going to be key. I think. How are you going to find this mentor? What are you going to do to try and find someone at this point? Because it's got to be quite niche.
so this is a big pro tip. Big
Yeah.
pro tip.
Okay.
Some people already have coaching programs where they do one-on-one mentorship, or even like 3-to-1 or like 4-to-1. Something those are pretty good too, from what I've heard and what I've seen and what I've done also. But the way I do it is it's kind of like outreach. I find the people. Let's say I want to hire someone doing 500K a month, someone that's took an agency to 500K a month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking in Facebook groups and Twitter and LinkedIn to see who scaled that far, and I'm gonna start messaging them. Hey, can I pay you for an hour of your? Actually, I saw you do this. I love it. Can
Yeah.
I pay you for an hour of your time?
Yeah.
Get into that hour, extract, fucking squeeze the juice out of this guy or gal, and then at the end, hey, look, can I pay you for mentorship?
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't even want to charge you for that first call. They're
Wow.
just happy to help because they're not like they're making good money already. They're not even looking for money at that point.
Yeah.
So they'll just help you just for you asking because a lot of people don't ask these big guys because they think they're never gonna
They
respond.
think everyone's asking them.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone thinks everyone's asking them, but these guys
Then
don't
no
get
one
any
ends up
questions.
asking them. Yeah.
Like think about billionaires. Um, I mean, if you ask a billionaire to mentor you and you're at 10K a month, they're gonna say no, obviously. But And I'm sure there's a lot of people 0 to 10K a month asking billionaires for advice, and that's dumb because they're not going to teach you anything. Take that back. They're probably going to teach you something, but not anything of value for your business.
Yeah.
But who are they going to help? They're going to help the people at 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. And how often are these guys asking people like Bill Gates for advice? Probably not a lot if they don't know him because they think Bill Gates is getting emails and calls all the time. But they're not.
Yeah. And it's like if you do exactly, they're not. But if you do like a little bit more research and you go beyond the people like Bill Gates, the Bezoses, these type of people, you can find so many people that are extremely wealthy that no one's even heard of.
Yeah.
That like I need to do this more. This is crazy because it's so true. It's like there are so many rich people out there that barely anyone knows them. They don't get contacted. They live a nice life. They have so much wisdom, right? That you can just reach out to them and just a case of just doing research, like finding your list of favorite companies, finding out who grew them, who made an impact, and then just reaching out to those people. There's so many people. Like entrepreneurship is, I feel like a very giving thing where a lot of people want to give advice, help people because they were that person. So it's easy.
Just as an example, I'm not comparing myself to Bill Gates in any way, but we do 200K a month. I've never been asked. Actually, I have, but I don't get asked by people for advice because I'm not out there, right? I'm not on
Yeah.
social media. That's like most fucking successful entrepreneurs. They're not on social media. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And so if you were to figure out about them and find them, ask them for that 1 hour. That could lead to something amazing. I have some of the best relationships with people that are way more successful than me because of that one message. This is literally like a golden tip. This is fucking gold. And because we have social media, we can ask people so easily.
Yeah, and that's when like you don't have to have a crazy brand, but just don't reach out to. I get reached out all the time by people with no profile picture, weird username, no followers. I'm like, why would I respond to you, no matter how good your message is in a lot of cases? And obviously, their message is usually terrible. But like, even if it was good, like, there's nothing there. It's like your landing page. It's like email when you reach out to someone, they just copy your website, paste in your domain. It's like if that's shit, probably not getting a response. So yeah, just if you're gonna do that on social media, just have some pictures, be real, like get a nice profile picture, look human, right? Don't look like a weird serial killer with nothing there. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm excited to see what's next for you, scaling up from there. Let me know when you find that mentor. Let me know how it goes, and that's been it. I think we'll wrap it up here. If you want more information about what I do, link in the description. And yeah, that'll be it. I'll see you in the next one.